and put an understanding out, because with Caitlin and what the players and the collective bargaining agreement are negotiating, folks, I'm wondering if it's the best fit for the top players of the WNBA. CBA agreements, the collective bargaining agreement is coming up. They're going to have an intense meeting for All-Star Weekend. And I wanted to bring this up for Caitlin Clark and the Larry Bird rights rule. Okay? And we'll start from a revenue perspective as Caitlin leads the league in revenue. Where am I going with this? It wouldn't make sense to have a contract for Caitlin.
Unless he really wants to, Larry Bird never speaks. The Hall of Famer, the three-time NBA champion, the man who once calmed crowds with his steely look, and the man who transformed discussion and trash into art. In an era of constant criticism, Bird, a living legend who hardly ever shows his face, much less speaks in public, has all but vanished. However, everything changed in a single, startling moment. Because Larry Bird approached Caitlin Clark on live television 2 minutes ago, grabbed the microphone from her, and said something that shocked the sports world. And the reply from Caitlin Clark: before we continue, a small favor, if you like the content, please think about liking this video and subscribing to the channel. The fact that nearly 83% of viewers have not yet subscribed may surprise you. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. Have you signed up yet? Wonderful! Thank you so much for your assistance. Now let's go back to the video.
The key question with Larry Bird, they were in a hard cap in the NBA, and when you look at this and bringing it back home, Adam Silver, Asia Wilson, Angel Reese, Breanna Stewart, who are the superstars of the WNBA, but especially for Caitlin because she has such brand marketing deals, probably averaging $30 to $50 million a year. The Bird rights gives a team an opportunity to re-sign its best player and not be restricted by...
You have to see it in order to believe it. Let's travel back in time. It was supposed to be a typical interview. Clark had just led the Indiana Fever to a difficult comeback victory with 28 points, 10 assists, and a dagger three-pointer that had the home crowd in a frenzy. As the post-game interviewer praised her leadership and asked about her relationship with teammates, everything seemed normal. However, the audience started yelling louder than they had all evening. The tunnel produced the renowned Indiana player Larry Bird, whose name is ingrained in basketball history. He went straight to the broadcast table, staring at Caitlin Clark. At first, she was unaware. She was friendly as usual, smiling and answering questions. But the interviewer interrupted in the middle of a statement. The cameras cut wide. Everyone in the audience got to their feet. Caitlin looked up at him. She froze. No, not in fear but in awe. Larry Bird, a man who rarely appears in public, was going straight after her. The mood changed. Everyone felt it. The subsequent events were neither prepared nor rehearsed. It wasn't processed. It was sincere. Larry walked up, gently took the microphone out of Clark's hand, and faced the camera. His following remarks will be spoken about for years to come. I've been watching for a long time, and this is unlike anything I've ever seen, he said in a deep, quiet, and reflective voice. She is real. Since the 1980s, I haven't seen a tougher player. And I won't stand by while others try to discredit her. Gasping, the audience surged after a brief period of total quiet. Bird wasn't just complimenting her performance. He was making a declaration, a warning, and a defense. He was getting closer to the fire. Not for himself, but for Caitlin Clark, the rookie who has regularly attended games in spite of being made fun of, hacked, questioned, and dismissed. Clark's answer. Her face was obscured. For the first time on live air, Caitlin Clark began to cry as she shook her head and trembled. It wasn't because she was weak or overpowered, but rather because someone who had defined Indiana basketball and knew the weight of greatness had just transferred the torch to her. Bird wasn't done yet. She doesn't need protection, he remarked. But she surely deserves respect. If you can't give her that, you're not watching the game. You're looking at your own anxieties. Boom. No corporate fluff or sanitized language. Just vintage Larry Bird was straightforward, impulsive, and brutal. He gave Clark back the microphone. She wiped her eyes. The interviewer simply stepped back, stunned. Without a script, a logo, or a marketing pitch, the old and the contemporary came together in that moment in a way that seemed larger than basketball. Since this is the actual situation, Caitlin Clark has been under more pressure than any rookie in WNBA history. As soon as she stepped onto the floor, every move she made, every word she spoke, every foul she committed that went unpunished, and every foul she committed made headlines. She became a symbol of the league's future while being drawn through the turmoil of its history. But she never broke. That caught Larry Bird's attention. Unlike many in the media, he also valued it. Bird knows what it's like to be hated for being unique. To enter hostile environments and calm audiences by using jumpers. To have all of your words twisted. Your confidence was mistaken for arrogance. Caitlin was more than simply a star to him. He saw a kindred spirit in a basketball player who plays to win, speaks her opinion, and doesn't play the game right to please others. Bird's public support went beyond sentimentality. It was computed. Because this was more than just a token of gratitude. It was a power move. Being sincere has helped Clark stand out at a time when many athletes are monitored, cleaned, and controlled. Because of her sincerity, she is now a target. She has been called overrated by some. I was told she's stealing the show. They are accused of being too loud, too rich, too white, or too haughty, depending on who is speaking. But Bird doesn't care about any of that. He values hoopers. Another hooper is Caitlin Clark. Bird's message was clear. She is involved in it. She is one of us. If you can't see it, you can't comprehend it. After the episode, social media went berserk. Larry and Caitlin became well-liked in a matter of minutes. Former NBA players voiced their opinions. Legends tweeted their support. Birds are not powerful speakers. One post claims that if he said that, she is the truth. Additionally, the WNBA is currently maturing. Even those who had assailed Clark earlier were hesitant. Because when Larry Legend speaks, you have to stop chatting and listen. The league responded almost immediately. In just a few hours, the WNBA released all of the event's footage across all platforms. No trims or edits. By daybreak, it had amassed almost 20 million views. Sponsors sold out their next 5 home games in response to the craze. As part of an exclusive Legend X rookie crossover effort, Nike issued a limited edition jersey online with Clark's number and Bird's autograph. In 4 minutes, it sold out, but more importantly, the tone changed. Caitlin Clark didn't need to clap back because Bird had made it. Uncool to hate her. Her remarks carried the weight of decades, and Larry Bird did it for her because this was more than just a soundbite. It was a declaration, a moment of truth, and a change in direction. Even Clark's harshest detractors softened as a result. When Bird stood up and said, "Let the child play, let her mature, and quit behaving as if being exceptional is a crime for the remainder of the game," he stated what millions of others were thinking. Clark looked lighter and freer. She grinned once more. She played with enthusiasm and emotion, scoring 14 points in the fourth quarter alone. She was questioned by reporters regarding Bird's shock in the locker room. She said, "I didn't expect it," in a shaky voice. "But if Larry Bird thinks I belong, I'll stop questioning myself." You should get a tattoo of the sentence. Caitlin Clark is breaking barriers in addition to breaking records. She is not asking for special treatment. She's asking for equity. And finally, she got the respect she was due from someone who had the guts to halt the world and pay attention. The moment will go down in sports history as one of the most powerful cross-generational handoffs ever, even though it wasn't just Larry Bird shielding a young player. It was Larry Bird defending the future of the game. Caitlin Clark is also carrying it forward with both hands. Everything changed all of a sudden. Not just for the WNBA, not just for Caitlin Clark, but for basketball in general. Due to the rarity of such times. They are not packaged, polished, or prepared. They strike hard, appear out of nowhere, and make a lasting effect. It wasn't just a viral video or a legend speaking up. What we witnessed was Larry Bird breaking his silence. Caitlin Clark, a player who entered the league under more pressure than most veterans will ever encounter. A player who was expected to carry ratings, headlines, criticism, and all at once, still showed up night after night, arena after arena, noise after noise, and it didn't break her. She became stronger as a result. That's how brilliance looks. Not perfect. Not popular. But persistence. And she's the real deal when a renowned person like Larry Bird, who defines an age and never takes praise lightly, says, "That's not hype. That is verification." That means admitting one's own heritage before it's even completed. After all, legends are more than just numbers. They sense mentalities. They see flames. They understand what sets memorable apart from good, a trait that cannot be taught. Larry Bird saw himself in Caitlin Clark as well. The same advantage, the same confidence, the same resolve to give in to anyone. And that's why this specific incident was important, since it advised everyone to give up doubting. Let go of your hatred. Watch right now. Because, whether you like it or not, you are seeing the emergence of something special. Something real. Anything that cannot be produced. And the majority of people struggle to accept this truth. Being great is uncomfortable. It challenges the current quo. It goes against expectations. It forces people to confront their biases, assumptions, and preconceptions. How about Caitlin Clark? She's doing it all without saying a word. Only by playing the game. Simply by being unquestionable. She's not standing by herself anymore. Because when Larry Bird came forth, he did more than just defend her. The culture was altered by him. He underlined how important respect is. It's justified. And she is deserving of everything. The audience rises before the ball even leaves her hands the next time you see her come out of deep. The noise level rises the next time. Remember this moment. Because this was the turning point. The moment when belief started to take the place of uncertainty. The moment a legend said, "She belongs." Once that threshold is passed, there is no going back. So whether you're a fan, a critic, or just a spectator, be ready for Caitlin Clark's narrative. It's just getting started, so consider what will happen next if this is how it begins. You believe in genuine talent if you respect athletes who must put in a lot of effort to succeed. To watch more moments like this, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and join the adventure. Because history, not just basketball, is being revealed to us. I'll see you in the upcoming one. Unless he really wants to, Larry Bird never speaks. The Hall of Famer, the three-time NBA champion, the man who once calmed crowds with his steely look, and the man who transformed discussion and trash into art. In an era of constant criticism, Bird, a living legend who hardly ever shows his face, much less speaks in public, has all but vanished. However, everything changed in a single, startling moment. Because Larry Bird approached Caitlin Clark on live television 2 minutes ago, grabbed the microphone from her, and said something that shocked